From incredible footage of Canada's most powerful tornado, to a picturesque storm tearing through a field in Wyoming, and a destructive F5 throwing debris in Oklahoma. Nicknamed Hub City, Lubbock, Texas acts as the economic and education hub south of the Texas Panhandle. On May 11th of 1970, Lubbock, Texas became known for much more. A powerful multi-vortex tornado touched down as night fell over Lubbock. It caused $135 million worth of damage, or a little over $1 billion in today's money. Most of the damage was surveyed by a man named Ted Fujita, who created highly detailed remappings of the storm's path. A year later, in 1971, the Fujita scale would become the go-to method for rating tornadoes. For reference, Ted gave the Lubbock storm an F5 rating. 2 other storms developed before the primary F5 tornado. Then, at around 9:35 p.m., the main storm touched down in southwestern Lubbock and went on an 8.5-mile journey of death and destruction. The storm was wide enough to encompass nearly a quarter of the city before it finally lifted 25 minutes later. In all, 26 people lost their lives in the storm, and 9,000 more lost their homes. At the time, it was the most costly tornado in U.S. history, but it still came with a silver lining. Despite widespread damage, the relief and reconstruction effort revitalized the Lubbock economy and sparked a period of physical and financial growth. Moore, Oklahoma seems to be known for one thing and one thing only: crazy, powerful tornadoes. The town is in the heart of Tornado Alley, and the greater OKC metro area is good for one bad tornado a year. According to the Weather Channel, things have only ramped up since the 1980s, with the metro area experiencing an average of 2 to 3 twisters each year. Ben Holcomb, a career storm chaser, was there on May 20th of 2013 to chase a storm that was meant for the history books. Here we are, we're on Southwest. We're on 19th Street here in Moore. So we're only going west. Watch your language. We're on 19th Street here in Moore. We're going west. There's a huge wedge on the ground. It's about ready to impact the city of Moore. It's going right up the old, with almost a 99 fast. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, we gotta go. Go, 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 go. Go, go. Get in the car. Get the car. Do not get up. The video starts with Ben watching the sky from behind a Kohl's and GameStop as the storm forms in the distance. His team hits the road to get as close as they can, while Ben documents where the storm is headed. Tensions rise as they get closer, and everyone in the car starts screaming, "Go, go, go!" They bounce from spot to spot, eventually getting some great shots of the full scale of the tornado. This is not what I wanted to see. I really... Whoa. That's going to be very fast. I really want to see this. I'm the rain curtain here. Here, I have to put your window up. Am I? Go, 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 go. Let's get in behind this. You gotta go forward? Yes, go. Hit by debris, okay? Oh, it's outside the car, man. Get in! Wow, look at it right here. We had... Hey. Oh. Oh, no. This is not good. Can we get south? No, no, let's stay right here. Look at it, it's like we're right here. Yeah, we can flip around and go 1 mile south. Easy, I would need... Whoa, 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 here comes the ground. Let's around, yeah. Around that, bandits. Yeah, here comes the debris. We'll get out of here. Hold on. I can't get... The shot of the road where the tornado tears through the power lines and you see a cop drive away gives you a great idea of the sheer scale of this beast. Not long after, Ben and his crew make a quick escape as debris starts to hit their car. A while later, the storm finally dissipates, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The 2013 storm stayed on the ground for 39 minutes as it traced a 17-mile path through the city and surrounding area. It claimed 24 lives, injured 212 others, and caused an estimated $2 billion in damage. Ben must have felt lucky to make it out alive after chasing one of the deadliest storms in U.S. history. Believe it or not, Laramie, Wyoming is the third largest city in the state, with only 32,000 people. The town sprung up in the mid-19th century when the Union Pacific Railroad line crossed the Laramie River, making it a hotbed for travel in the Midwest. Unfortunately, it's also a minor hotbed for tornadoes, as it sits on the border of Tornado Alley. Things changed in 2018 when Wyoming turned into a storm chaser's paradise. On June 7th of 2018, one of the most picturesque tornadoes of all time spawned about 9 miles north of Laramie. The Washington Post called it the most photographed tornado of 2018, as plenty of people got incredible footage over its 45-minute lifespan. The storm looks like a thorn jutting out of the sky as it makes its way towards the ground. Once the funnel fully forms, the whole thing takes on a thick gray tone, looking like a solid mass of wind tearing across the countryside. It almost seems too perfect to be real. We see just how wide the storm is with some up-close and personal shots as the wind spins counterclockwise. But, as powerful as the storm looks, it didn't do that much damage. There was some spotty damage here and there, and a few structures, fences, and power lines took a minor beating. Thankfully, nobody got hurt, and most of Laramie could sit back and enjoy nature on full display. 2018 proved to be an uncommon year in Wyoming, a state that only gets about 6 tornadoes every year. By June of 2018, the National Weather Service had already received 13 reports. Manitoba is the 5th largest Canadian province, smack dab in the middle of the country. It sports vastly different climates depending on where you are, from Arctic conditions in the north to dense forests and freshwater lakes in the south. It shares its southern border with North Dakota and Minnesota, leaving its southern towns susceptible to violent Midwestern weather. One of those towns, a tiny unincorporated community called Ely, was nearly blindsided by the most powerful tornado in Canadian history. On June 22nd of 2007, an F5 tornado touched down as part of a 2-day tornado outbreak in the area. At its widest and strongest, the Ely storm spanned 150 yards, with wind speeds reaching between 260 and 320 miles per hour. Just as the storm touched down, some storm chasers were there to film it. It's on the ground, definitely doing its thing. About a mile south of Ely. I don't know, it might hit the town. I'm not sure based on where I'm heading. I think it might hit the town. I'm gonna zoom into the funnel. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's tearing shit up, man. I can hear it. Yeah. And Eli. It just went over the power lines. I can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it. Yeah. I think it's hitting the town. Eli, I think it's either beside it or it's hitting it. Here, hold on. Yeah, I got to take some pictures of this shit. Actually, it just went up. About 10 seconds ago, it hit a power line. About a mile away from the storm, a group of storm chasers gets the shot of a lifetime as the Eli tornado forms overhead. You can see debris swarming around the base of the twister as it rips through an open field. Our storm chasers worry about the tornado potentially hitting the town, but there's nothing they can do but sit and watch. At one point, the storm looks like an eldritch horror coming down from the ominous sky. Then, in a blink of an eye, it fades away. Thankfully, the people of Eli had sufficient time to evacuate thanks to early warning signs. However, the storm still caused $39 million in damage, destroying a flour mill and several houses, while tossing one car 330 feet like a Hot Wheel. Now, there's been some dispute regarding the F5 rating, especially after Canada adopted the Enhanced Fujita Scale, or EF, in 2013. Basically, the EF scale accounts for damage more than wind speed. For example, an F5 tornado on the old scale meant wind speeds between 261 and 318 miles per hour. On the new scale, it's anything over 200 that causes significant damage. Thankfully, nobody lost their lives in the Eli tornado, but it still goes down as the strongest twister in Canadian history. Wichita Falls is a city in northern Texas and home to just over 100,000 people. It's the administrative center of Wichita County and has a long-standing relationship with powerful tornadoes. On Friday, April 3rd of 1964, an F5 tornado touched down in Wichita Falls, causing $15 million in property damage, or about $143 million today. The event was known as Black Friday, years before the phrase became synonymous with the day after Thanksgiving. The storm destroyed 225 homes and damaged another 250, but it pales when compared to the 1979 storm, aptly named Terrible Tuesday. He wasn't my voice, there the pie on the ground, near the sightseeing and Wichita Falls. Please take off. Okay, that's all. Looks like it's moving rapidly east. It's hardly know it's a fire still on the ground. It's funny to have. Golly, I'll tell you what, it's got a bad one up there. Coming into the town, heading towards the Cal Freeway. On April 10th of 1979, a violent weather outbreak in North Texas spawned 13 tornadoes in the Texoma area, an interstate region between Texas and Oklahoma. Wichita Falls got hit with the most powerful storm in the series, a record-setting F4 tornado that wouldn't be topped for another 20 years. Around 6 p.m., a mile-and-a-half-wide tornado struck near Memorial Stadium, right in the heart of Wichita Falls. The area was heavily populated, and despite the early warnings an hour before the storm, 42 people still lost their lives, and another 1,800 suffered injuries. The storm hit just when people were getting home from work, perhaps stuck in traffic without enough time to find shelter. Terrible Tuesday left 20,000 people without homes and caused $400 million in damage, or just over $1.6 billion today. It set the record for the most costly tornado in American history until the 1999 F5 tornado in Moore, Oklahoma ascended to the throne. Now, if you're deathly afraid of tornadoes, May of 2013 was a bad year to live anywhere near the Oklahoma City metro area. The town of Moore was already recovering from the EF5 tornado that ripped through the city on May 20th. Then, 11 days later, another record-setting storm touched down 40 minutes west in El Reno. The worst part? It was only one of the dozens throughout the week. The storm hit around 6 p.m., roughly 8 miles southwest of the city. As it moved over open fields, the storm snowballed in size, eventually becoming the widest tornado ever recorded at 2.6 miles wide. For reference, that's about as wide as 38 football fields lined up end zone to end zone. The storm was a multi-vortex tornado, meaning several smaller tornadoes rotated around the central vortex. Thankfully, the storm stayed over open terrain, limiting its destruction and impact on human life. Still, 8 people lost their lives in the El Reno storm alone, including a team of expert storm chasers and one man who just wanted a good picture. Some isolated locations along the storm's path suffered some severe damage. Most of the buildings suffered EF3 level damage, and some described the OKC West livestock market as a war zone. Meanwhile, the Canadian Valley Tech Center sustained $40 million in damage to its mostly brick buildings. The 2013 El Reno tornado is, without a doubt, the most infamous of all time, and definitely one for the record books.